Okay, we're live. Let me check Facebook. Okay. And YouTube. Okay, we are live officially on YouTube. So let me just fix this on Facebook because it is not coming through. Let's see. Okay, let's get into it. So I am super excited, everyone, to have Elmira here with us. She, first of all, just welcome back. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of the Holistic Sister Circle, where we help women like you take your health back into your own hands using natural remedies, real conversations, and a whole lot of sisterhood. So, in today's episode, and a whole lot of sisterhood, we actually have Elmira here with us, who is, you know, I honestly love her as a person. I love that I'm getting ready to share her with you all. And in today's episode, it's really just for every woman who's ever felt stuck, heartbroken, or like her whole body was holding on to pain that she couldn't quite name, whether it's just emotional or physical. And Elmira is a holistic healer, massage therapist, and a breakup recovery guide who has spent the past 17 years helping people move through grief with their whole bodies, not just their minds. So if you've ever wondered how to actually get over your ex, not just mentally, but somatically, this conversation is going to open something up for you. So I'm super excited to have her here. And before we kick everything off, Amira, I would love for you to share with us what's one thing on the internet that no one knows about you beyond your titles.
One thing that no one knows, maybe they don't know this. I don't like mayonnaise.
Really?
Yeah, I do not like mayonnaise.
Why? Why?
It
Why?
just
That's so random.
I never really enjoyed it. I like my mom would make potato salad and stuff like that growing up. I'd eat it, but
Mhm.
it's not my thing. I'm not big on a lot of sauces anyway, but mayonnaise is definitely if I get a sandwich somewhere, I'm like, hold the mayo. I can't.
First of all, I sent you a list of sauces, like, hey, try this brand for
No,
sauces, and didn't
those
even
types
know.
of sauces I do like, but what
Okay.
I'm saying, like, you know how some people go to Cane's and stuff and they're like, I gotta get the sauce, I gotta get all these variety of sauces for the
Hold
dipping, and
on.
I'm not like that. I like sauces on food, like marinade and
Okay.
all of that type of stuff. But yeah,
Okay. That is so random.
no mayo.
Okay, cool. No mayo, please. So I'm super glad that we know that. Now, beyond the titles, beyond the fun, tell us how you entered this work and what was your I hate to have you revisit, but can you tell us your heartbreak story? I feel like it has something to do with your personal journey.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. My heartbreak story happened years ago. I was dating someone and we were living together. We were together for about 4 years, and I thought, oh, yes, we're definitely going to get married. We're going to do all this great stuff. We made music together. We did a lot. It seemed like, okay, this is a fit. And then we broke up. I kind of anticipated the breakup because I was seeing us going our separate ways in terms of what we desired for our future. And so for me, it was very heartbreaking. Even though I saw it, you can anticipate things, but still be heartbroken and deal with the grief. And that was me because most of it was my whole world was shattered. Like, okay, I got to find a new place to stay. This life I knew for the past 4 years is going to be over. How am I going to live without him? All of these things, because that was my outside of college, that was my first time living away from home too. So it was so many things wrapped up into it. And for me, I felt so much in my body. I had gained weight, like 40 pounds. I was just feeling, after the breakup, feeling lonely, feeling like, what am I going to do? Who am I now? Even though I was always super ambitious, it was still those feelings living inside of me. Like, okay, there was even a moment I wanted him back. Was like, okay, we're obviously gonna get back together. So I went through that period too. So it was just a lot happening and me not knowing what the future was to hold.
Wow. First of all, thank you for I find it so crazy that we go through these like traumatic experiences and we don't even know what's about to become on the other side. But for one, thank you for sharing that. Can you talk a little bit like about that transition? I know you had said that you knew that you both were going in two separate directions.
Mhm.
What did that look like?
So for me, some of that just felt like I was about to finish massage school at the
Mhm.
time, and he was doing about to embark on music. So it was just almost like I wanted to start my business and he was going to be doing his own thing. So there was no cohesiveness, like, okay, we're on the same path together. We're about to do these things together. It was more, we each wanted to explore ourselves. So for me, that's what it felt like. There was some insecurities, jealousy, all kinds of stuff, but the major thing was just I knew we were going different paths. It was just he wanted to pursue his thing and I wanted to pursue my thing. There was no decision or conversation about we're still going to be in this a year from now or 2 years from now.
Right. You know, I'm glad we're talking about this too, because I do believe that this is something that happens in a lot of relationships. And one of the big things that I've noticed, whether it's through just relationship podcasts that I've listened to or just own experiences with family and friends, a lot of the times going into it, they either never knew what their purpose was from the beginning, like their individual purpose,
Mhm.
and meeting this person for the first time and having these conversations and actually seeing, as you have the two lives come together, what is this going to be? What is our legacy going to be beyond what we do individually? Or when they do come together, they want to continue to do their own thing and they have a hard time trying to figure out how to bring it into alignment so they can also do things together. And I share this because this was something that I've struggled with before in my relationship as well.
Hmm.
Where, for example, for me, I was all about health and wellness, and this was like my thing. And then my partner, he was all about trading, and that was his thing. And when we actually came together, he saw a vision of us together in doing both, right, in some capacity, but I couldn't see anything else but what I knew. So every
Really?
time, yes. And every time we would have like a conversation about, this is what we see, this is what we want. When we first started dating, it was very clear. I was very clear about what I wanted, what I needed, all the things. And then I would say, as time progressed and we were to, 3, 4 years later, right? I got very comfortable. And I got so comfortable to the point that I kind of put the things that I enjoyed on the burner, not realizing that the very things that I always enjoyed is what kept the fire. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
It was like,
So
yeah.
so what I say to that is this, because it's something I learned from my heartbreak, and it's something I teach my clients in part of the process of getting over your ex is there's like 3 people in the relationship. I know we hear this time and time again, but it really is true, and you just demonstrated it. It's this person, the other partner, and the relationship. So the relationship has to take on a person, a persona of its own. So you should still maintain what you do, your self-care, your passions, and then he maintains what he does, and then y'all have stuff you do together. Otherwise, you are going to lose that zest. You are going to lose that passion because why should you leave your stuff behind? He leaves his stuff behind. What are we doing? Like this is
He
a
would ask
it's
me that too. He'd be like, "What are we?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just, and I really did not know how to do both. Like, I always felt like I had to choose. And for him, it was like he didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. But all I knew was I wasn't happy having to choose, even though it was never an expectation. It was like it was an expectation that I put on myself to have to choose.
well, it's interesting. This is the podcast and it's directed at women. This is something we're taught. It's something we believe that once you have kids, you got to put this away. Once you get married, you got to
Hmm.
put that away. Once you get in a relationship, you got to discard that. No, you should maintain. I mean, just before we got on this, I'm big, just like you, in the health and wellness. And I'm all about my workouts and eating different things. You sent me the sauces. I'm like, I'm going to try this cool stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't just want to be, oh, now I'm going to be like all booed up with my boyfriend and ditch my workout and ditch the food and ditch my fasting and ditch everything else I said I was going to do. It doesn't make sense. So we did like I do a co-movement thing on Thursdays and he attended. So by me keeping up with those things is motivating in the relationship for me, for him, and then for the world collectively too.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. And I find it too, like even now, even though that's how we came in and now we're like blending it, I'm just as excited about trading as he is excited about losing weight. Right. So it's like now has been the moment where I've realized, like, oh, we actually can do this together.
Mhm.
It can be a thing where we have our thing, but then we also can come together and it can be congruent and it can align. So, all the women that are out there that are also listening to this too, just let us know in the comments, like whether you're in a relationship or, you had a past experience with a partner that maybe you weren't sure if it was in alignment, or maybe you're in a relationship now and you feel like you may be going in two separate directions. You may not be. Honestly, it may just be what you feel like you have to do, just like how I felt like I had to do those things and it really wasn't um true. It wasn't true, and we had to set that expectation of like what our relationship will look like and not put any other body's expectations on that. So,
Mhm.
one, I appreciate you sharing that because I was like, wow, that's something that you could go through even if you haven't necessarily broken up or left, or parted
So
ways with your
true.
ex. Now, okay. So that the next question I have for you, I'm laughing because you're gonna be like, okay. The next question I have for you is, when did you decide to start dating again?
Oh, it was many years later, and here's why. It's so why I'm
Okay,
always
before you
yes.
answer that, the other question, the two-parter to that is, why did it take you longer? Like, why did it take you longer after that relationship to get into a new one to pursue it again?
Because I wasn't over my ex. Like literally that's what it was. It took me 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, and that's why I teach what I teach about the movement and the somatic therapy, and you got to get those emotions from the heartbreak out of your body. It was living in my body, and I did not know. I was holding on to that relationship through the belly fat, through the the 40 pounds I said I had gained. Didn't lose that weight until years later. Like all of it, I didn't until I consulted with a personal trainer. So yeah, it was many years before I
Wow.
started dating again because I was still attached. Like, I thought, like, I would still see him on social media or just different things, but it was because it was living in my body.
Wow.
It was literally, and I knew that too because I'm trained as a massage therapist, and I've seen this with clients, how when you go through something, it could show up as shoulder pain, back
Right.
pain, headaches, anything, Crohn's disease, fibroids, any number of things emotionally that we encounter can show up in the body. And I could feel that stuff and I could feel it releasing off the clients. So for me, I'm like, oh, yeah, made the connection with my own body.
Wow. 7 years.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. In that 7 year period, I know you talked about somatic work. For those who don't know what that means, can you share what that means and what you did during that 7 year period to prepare you for your relationship that you have now?
Okay, somatic just means body, dealing with the whole body. That's the way I look at it. So people can give fancy terms and say, okay, it means this, but it literally means getting into your body and using your body as a way of release. So you can do that through dance, you can do tapping, you can do massage therapy as a way of doing this. I even know a guy who does grief yoga. That would be somatic therapy. And so some of the things I did was breath work. I got massages, hired a personal trainer. I started to lose the weight. I got in Queen Afua's Sacred Woman program. That was
Yes.
after I had started dating. What else did I do? It was just I changed my eating. Like I started looking into, okay, I did like a sweets fast, a 90-day sweets fast. I did a Like at one point, I discovered there was a sex demon attached to me. So I did a fat during one of my fasts that it was released. So it was just all this
Ooh.
stuff because it was my commitment to just releasing the stuff from my body. So I pretty much did everything, whatever I could find or get my hands on. I was doing. I did mindset work, like hired mindset coaches. So it was just everything.
Wow.
I was like, I'm doing it all because it really was just a path of self discovery. Because going
Yeah.
back to what we were saying before, sometimes you lose yourself in the relationship. That's why you can't get over your ex because your identity is attached to that relationship. But you don't understand. I'm a person. So the relationship had its own identity. I'm the person and he's the person. So when I was attaching myself to that particular identity, I had to come into my own, like, who is this new person, and really learn myself.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. And when you left, what made you want to go back? Like through that 7 year period, what were those thoughts that were coming up that made you want to, or essentially not get over him and want to try to explore it again?
Oh, cause I mean, some of it was, "Oh, my family knows him, so it would be good. It would be comfortable." What else? The body, again. We, of course, were sexually active, so there was that attachment in my womb. So I had to do the the releases there. That was one of
Okay,
the things wanted me
you
to
gotta
go
get rid of
back.
that sex demon.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, it was real. Like, I got a video on YouTube about that, how I released the sex. But this is the stuff. Think about our body, what happens to our body in a relationship. There's intimacy, there's hugging, kissing, it just every so what is in your body if you've endured that or experienced that for years? It doesn't just cut off like that. It can if you make the decision, but you
Yeah.
also have to understand if this relationship is over, but my body is still thinking I'm in the relationship, you got to do something to release, to cut the cord.
Yes, I felt that. That is so true. And it's so interesting because I even think of not just people who have been in long-term relationships, but even those who have maybe suffered abuse, whether it's maybe you were in a narcissistic relationship with your spouse, or I have quite a few people who have been on the show too who have were married for 10, 15 years, and they were in an abusive relationship. And
Mhm.
one of the reasons that they were able to find themselves again and heal from that, and even some of them have remarried, is because of that work that they did to overcome. So I would love to know, in this new season, this new chapter, 7 years later, obviously, I'm sure at that time you didn't know that you would be where you are today, but you're here. And tell us about the relationship that you're currently in. What has changed? What do you feel like you all are in alignment in? And how has this really helped not just shape your life, but the people that you've touched and your clients?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So new Elmira, the relationship that I'm in now, I would say is destined. Like there's a purpose to it. Like we have a lot of similarities, just like my other relationship. However, because I went in knowing myself and went in with certain intentions, I I fully understand what the relationship is, and I also understand who I am outside of the relationship. So
Mm.
that's the biggest thing for me, because I moved here to be with my boyfriend. Like I moved from Nashville to Atlanta because I'm like, okay,
Hey
I'm
now.
gonna I'm gonna pursue this. And some people were like, oh, you're giving up. No, it's not even giving up something. It's moving toward something new and committing and devoting to that. So for me, this relationship is there and he's supportive and I can support him, and it's just it's just good. Based off of friendship. I think that's basically it. Was there another part of the question? I think there was. I don't know.
No, no, no. That was it. The last part was, how has this shaped not just your life but your clients? But you said it. The biggest thing that you said was it was based off friendship.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So for my clients, I would say it's been a testimony to you can do this. Because if I would just say, "Oh, this is how you get over your ex," and I pursued dating and then I never got in a new relationship, to me, that wouldn't be an example of my recovery. So
Mm.
because I can get into a relationship again and make it healthy and do some things differently, it's showing, okay, you can do it too. Because I have the story of it, and it was like a manifestation thing too, because people talk about, "Oh yeah, manifestation, I'm gonna do the love, this and that." I didn't necessarily do that, but how we met is just a strange story because he don't ever leave the house, but ended
Mm.
up
Tell us the story, Elmira.
you like
Tell us.
tell the story. Well, there was a my cousin had told me about this event. So this spiritual conference
Okay.
coming to my city. I was living in Nashville at the time and I said, "Okay, I'll go." I had only knew about this guy once. Said I'll go to the thing. So I had actually planned to take another guy there. I had asked somebody else to go. Then at the last minute, he's like, "Oh, I can't go. I can't go." I was running late to the event on the day of the event, running late. I thought I was not going to get my ticket. I'm standing in the hall. I get into the room where they're having it at the hotel, trying to hunt for a seat. So I found a seat and it was next to Terrence. And so we were just talking the whole time. And I said, "Oh, you traveled here from Atlanta to come see this guy speak?" And we just sat the whole time there talking, getting to know each other and
Where was your
learned
friend?
we had which friend? The one I invited?
Yeah, no.
Or
So you said you had a friend that invited you to the event and you met him at the event,
no,
right?
actually, my cousin had told me about it. He lives in a different city. So my
Oh,
cousin
okay.
in a different city told me this guy was coming to my city, like, "You need to see him." I'm
Gotcha.
like, "Okay, why are you telling me I need to go see him when I don't even really know who he is?" So that's what I'm saying. There was a whole lot of pieces divinely. So my cousin doesn't even live near me. Go see
Wow.
this guy. I go see and then meet and we go to dinner after that and and this was right before the pandemic. So that was a couple of months before the pandemic started too.
Wow. So he wasn't even from Nashville. He was from
No.
Atlanta
Yeah. Mhm.
and he was doing a show there.
Well, attending
Oh, he was
attending the
attending. Okay.
show.
I'm like,
Yeah,
wait,
attending the event.
I'm lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was just attending the event, and so was I. So, we just met
What did you just lock
'cause
eyes or?
no, we sat next to each other at the event. So,
Elvira, give
that
us the
was
juice,
basically
girl.
it.
Give us the juice.
There was no juice like that. So we just sat next to each other after the event and just began talking long distance after that and learned we had a lot in common, different things like thrifting and spirituality, astrology, just all kinds of stuff. So the health and wellness.
Okay. And then what made you decide to say, okay, like I'm moving now? Like I'm actually moving from Nashville to Atlanta.
Well, for me, it was more okay. This has been this long, these many years existing, what are we gonna do? What are either he gonna have to move here or I'm gonna have to move here there. I was more flexible, like in terms of what I could do. I could move. It didn't matter.
Hmm.
So for me, it was like, okay, what is really keeping me here in this city? There was really nothing outside of my business and my clients. And I had done that for 15 years. So it was like, okay, if I'm going to go this direction and pursue this, I got to make a decision. I got to make a move. It's like, am I going to do it or not?
I love how you chose love. I love that.
Yeah, because it is a choice because all of my life I desired love like in the sense of like romantic love. But work and business and all of that stuff took over. So if I have an opportunity to choose love, why not go after it?
Right.
Instead of saying, "Oh, it's not for me. I'm just going to stay here by myself." And it's like, who does that?
And you know what's so crazy? Like One of the things that I do believe is preached in our community so much is the fact that we have to work really hard and make sure that like we're successful before we do all these things and actually are able to pursue our significant other. And in so many other cultures, it's not like that. It's like you literally, a lot of you go to college to either find your husband, or
Mhm.
you have them before you even go to college, or you don't even go because your goal is to make sure that you are locked in with this person. And even for me, like I was so fixated on my schooling and work, and making sure that I had this, professional job with all these professional titles, that by the time love entered into my peripheral, I'm just like, I'm focused, I'm focused, I'm focused. And I was trying to ignore it. And then I didn't even know how to pick either, because I'm like,
Mm.
dang, like this man is telling me he wants to marry me. This man is like ready to go. And I'm over here like, well, I didn't, get out of my debt yet. And it's just like, what are you
It
doing?
doesn't matter.
Right. I know that now, but in that period of time, I'm thinking that I have to have all these accolades and I have to be, successful in my own thing, not realizing that they don't even care about that. They don't even care about that.
True.
And I just,
Yeah.
I feel like for the ladies that are out there who, again, you're getting over your ex and you're going into new territory, maybe you've been single for a long time. Like I just recommend that you at least do the things that men want. Like I think we get so trapped in our heads about what we think men want, and it's just like no. Men are
Exactly.
very simple. Like they're very simple, and if you actually study them the way that they study us, you'd be surprised of what they actually want and what they need from you, and how they choose someone long term versus someone who's
Mhm.
just a fun thing. And I think we get trapped in that of we think we're long term, but we're really just for fun, or we only want fun, but they're looking for long term, and it's always a mismatch. So when you are with someone and you know that they're serious about you, like open your eyes, okay?
You said open your
Open your eyes
well,
and your heart.
sometimes it's hard for us to see that because we have been broken or we may
Yeah,
still be attached to the ex. And sometimes that ex is not just the ex-boyfriend, it's the past life or the past
yeah,
story. I told myself, my parents said I needed to do this. But if you open your eyes, you can see, okay, that's a good thing standing right in front of you and you can't even see it. What's wrong with you?
exactly, exactly. Okay, so I'm just okay. So for those who obviously may be going through this, right? What is like one piece of advice that you would give someone today that may be experiencing either trauma or misalignment within their body from past experiences from a previous relationship, and it's really holding them back from finding a suitable mate today?
Mm, I would say this one thing, and it's an action step. Feel your body.
What
Like
does that mean?
you so what I mean by feel your body is give yourself I'm just going to demo that right now. Give yourself a massage. Like
Mm,
feel where do you feel it? Do you feel tightness here? When you touch your shoulder, is there pain? When you touch your abdomen, is there pain? Do you feel in the morning? So do an assessment of your body, what is actually going on, because if you're not aware, I just call this power of awareness. If you're not first of all aware of exactly what's happening with you in this trauma, how are you going to move forward?
right.
If you don't know, oh, my right side of the neck hurts more than the left side, well, when does it hurt? Start exploring. Does it hurt when you have this thought? Does it hurt around the anniversary date of the breakup? I'm like, these are real things that need to be explored. So that's my one tip. Do a self-assessment. The self-healing is so important with the massage. So touch everything. Your neck, your feet, your legs, your back, and just
Just get all in there.
yeah, see what's going on with you
Yeah.
because we ignore it sometimes. or we don't even know. We wait for somebody else to tell us what's hurting, the doctor, the massage therapist, the chiropractor, whoever it is. You can be your own best self defense after this breakup.
Right.
See what's happening. Feel it.
I love that. And then if someone, because I know a lot of the work that you do is through massage therapy, but if someone were looking to connect with you that isn't in your area, what does that process look like?
So I do online, I do virtual appointments too. So that person would just contact me for a consultation. I have a link, like they can go to bit.ly/book Elmira now and schedule a consultation. From there, I would see where they are and then schedule an appointment because I do 60-minute breakup recovery sessions for people where I teach them these principles based on their individual case.
Okay. And then on average, how long does it normally take? I know everybody is different, but how long does it normally take for people to actually see results?
They see results after one session.
Oh, snap.
Because here's the thing, and I know this just with people, well, with one session and with people coming to my workshop one time. Most people just need a place to discuss the heartbreak.
Mm,
So they don't have a space to say, they can't go to their sister or their friend or this person. They're gonna be like, "Oh, girl, get over it. It ain't nothing wrong, guy." And this is what I've heard and seen and
yeah.
read in the research too. People just think, "Oh, you should be over it by now." So just that one experience of being able to unload is helpful, because now you've been able to give voice to, this is what I'm going through with this breakup, or this is what I'm feeling. And just by acknowledging it and giving awareness to it, a lot of it will just start to release.
Right. No, that's super helpful. I love this. Ugh, I love it. I love
Because
it.
it's
Thank you
like
so
a
much.
mental massage. It's
Yeah.
because same thing when I would get a client on the table. One massage is helpful, but of course, if you want long lasting benefits, you go back. Because if you're continuing to work out or you're continuing to do this, you need more. You need
Right.
more treatment.
Right. I love that. Awesome. Well, no, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you for just sharing with us a little more about what you do, how you experience this with your clients, the type of transformations they have had, sharing your story of not just the past experiences, but what life looks like on the other side when you actually remove the blockages. I certainly appreciate that. And I know that our sisters appreciate it as well. Now, without further ado, if anyone was looking to connect with you further, what does that process look like as far as your socials and any workshops that you have coming up?
So they can contact me on YouTube. I'm just Elmira Loftin on YouTube, also on Instagram, Elmira Loftin Official on Instagram. That's the best way to reach me. Next workshop that's coming up is kind of focused on getting over your ex, but we're doing a panel discussion about spiritual gifts for those who are curious if they have spiritual gifts. So that's the next thing. It's posted on my Eventbrite and things like that. But that's the best way to stay up to date on events is YouTube and Instagram.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you again. And until next time, be blessed.
Bye.